What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 5, I think, of Bird of the Week. I'm losing track and I'm losing my mind. Although I'm recovering from a cold, I am here today wanting to bring you some beautiful facts and things and everything and song about the hummingbird. Now, the reason I'm doing the hummingbird this week, thank you to two people. I want to thank two people who, in particular, special people who decided that this week was going to be the hummingbird. It wasn't me, because I never want to decide personally on my personal agenda. If I did, we would have already done the great blue heron, we would have already done the red-tailed hawk, we would have already probably done the bald eagle. Listen, I don't set the agendas here. I let the people decide. So, this is a big shout-out week this week. I'm shouting out, first of all, and of course, the legendary and the most important here today, shouting out my great-grandmother, who, yes, is still alive, 99 years old. I call her Mum, you can call her Ruth. Shout out to her. The hummingbird is one of her favorite birds, and she called me last week, or the last time an episode came out, and said, you know, these episodes are so sick, I'd love to see one on the hummingbird. So, Mum, I see you, and I'm shouting out the hummingbird for you today. Secondly, one of his favorite birds as well, Mr. Nadel, one of my best friends, one of our best friends here at Asanabenche. Nadel, thank you for the suggestion, hummingbird. Every time we see a hummingbird out in the yard, Al would be like, hey, hummingbird, check it out. So we're going to do that for him today as well. Hummingbird. And because of those two special people, that makes today a special episode. When have I not had a special episode? Am I right? Every episode is special because I'm coming out here doing this thing, trying to provide you some fun facts. I thought it was a not as hot day as it is today, but it's a pretty hot day today. Anyway. Usually, I start with why I wrote that song, and last episode I changed the order, so we're going to continue that order change, because I'm going to give you some fun facts to provide some context as to why I wrote that song before I just tell you why I wrote that song. So first of all, fun facts. Now, the hummingbird is one of the smallest warm-blooded animals on the planet, and of course, as you know, they like to eat the nectar of flowers. They like to eat the nectar of flowers. I was hoping maybe we'd catch a hummingbird out here during this not like literally, just like see one during this episode. But I haven't seen one yet, so we'll see. Hopefully one flies around in the back later. But hummingbirds, one of the smallest cold-blooded animals, they drink the nectar of flowers. Now, how do they come to be hummingbirds? We'll start with how do they come to be. Well, very simply put, and this is going to be very simply put, as opposed to very complicatedly put. Basically, hummingbirds came to be for a multitude of reasons. First of all, hummingbirds' ancestors. They were still hummingbirds, but they were their beaks were heavier. They were generally heavier animals, and they were actually more equipped for just simply hunting bugs, eating bugs. They only ate bugs. Now, as flowers, though, evolved themselves, they became longer. The only things that were drinking the nectar of flowers and dispersing the pollen were insects, such as bees, but there are also many other types of insects that do this, moths, to name one other. But essentially, insects were the primary caregiver to these flowers, primary relator with these flowers. But here's the problem with insects. Insects do not do well in cold climates because they're cold-blooded. So when it's cold outside in the mornings, insects are like as slow as your grandpa getting off the toilet. But, sorry, Mama, I know you're watching. So not fast. And they don't have the ability to pollinate flowers in cold climates. So what naturally happened? Well, the flowers needed a new type of species to pollinate them who can survive in any kind of weather environment, cold, warm, rain, shine. And of course, hummingbirds love water. And hey, shout out to one of the reasons why I made that song. Hummingbirds love water. They love a bath. And in fact, they really don't mind the rain. So in these cold climates, eventually hummingbirds evolved to be great, great friends with these flowers, essentially. Because, they were able to, with their long beaks, and their light bodies and ability to just hover completely still. By the way, they're the only bird that can hover completely still in the air. Other birds try. Other birds can keep their head completely still while their body moves, but hummingbirds literally can just hover completely still in there. They're the best flyers in the world, and we'll get there. Thank you, bird. We'll get there. So essentially, they fulfilled the role that plants, flowers needed to be filled. They were able to, with their long beaks, get into the deeper flowers, get the nectar of those flowers, inherently taking the pollen, dispersing the pollen of those kinds of flowers. Now, as I was saying, they're the only bird that can hover completely still without moving their body at all. There's a couple other things about their flying. They can fly omnidirectionally. They can fly completely omnidirectionally. And that's really beautiful for them because they can therefore evade predators really well, hunt insects very well. Now, they still hunt insects, don't get it twisted. They eat the nectar of flowers, and that's their primary food source. However, they still totally eat insects. And it's very difficult for insects to escape them because of their incredible mobility, omnidirectional flying, incredible speeds, and their flying ability is unmatched, essentially, amongst all other birds. There's no bird that can fly like them. It comes to them at a big cost. They're one of the highest energy users, and they have one of the quickest metabolisms out of all creatures on the planet. So, what does this mean? It means that they have to eat every 15 minutes or so. So they are constantly going out to get food, and that's basically how they spend their days. They spend 80% of their days actually perched on a branch. When they're perched, because they don't really have like any leg, they just basically have feet, they can't walk, they can't hop, they can't do any of the stuff that a lot of birds can do on the ground or on a branch. A lot of birds can hop around, move around on their feet. Hummingbirds cannot at all. So they just spend all of their time sitting still, perched on a branch. The rest of their time they fly around. Now, normally we see hummingbirds flying around. Why? Because they're flying around to get flowers, to get pollen, to get nectar, from flowers. That's what I meant to say. And so, that being said, like, we see them coming to our flowers, maybe in our gardens or our backyards or our fields or our, communities, wherever we see hummingbirds around, flying around more often than not. However, they are perched 80% of the time because they're trying to conserve energy because of those quick metabolisms, because they need to get food every 15 minutes or so. So, that being said, sorry, I thought I saw one. That being said, so you may think, okay, well then, if I have to get food every 15 minutes, how do they sleep? Great question. Before we get into how they sleep, right? Because they have to get food every 15 minutes. Oh, and they expend all this energy. Oh, and they're such small creatures. Oh, and so, yes. So, all this being said, they live 3 to 5 years only, short lifespans. And here's the thing. Their heart beats faster than we could ever possibly conceive of. Now, if you're a musician, you know BPM pretty well, and you know that, maybe if you're trying to learn a song, like a really fast song, in the mid 250 is pretty fast, 270 definitely very fast, 300, now you're talking about, this is a very, very fast song. Not getting many songs at 300 BPM. Yeah, well, a hummingbird's heartbeat when it's flying around beeps at 1200 BPM. It beats at 1200 BPM. That's 1,200 beats per minute. Now, this is what that sounds like on a metronome. So that's fast as hell. Now, when they finally perch and rest and their heart rate slows, it slows only to 400 BPM, which is still faster than pretty much any song you'll hear. I'm sure there are 400 BPM songs out there. If you're making them, you're crazy. I was thinking about making a 400 BPM song for this song today, and then I started doing it, and I thought to myself, you know what, this is too fast, and I need to get better. If I'm going to start playing the stuff I actually want to play this fast consistently in a way that I'll actually enjoy hearing it. That's besides the point, though. But the point is that their heart rate is extremely fast. I was going to say goddamn fast. I'm saying it now anyway. But their heart rate is extremely, extremely fast, whether they're flying or resting. So how do they sleep? They sleep by slowing that heart rate way down, lowering their body temperature to as low as it can go, basically, whilst they're still alive. They don't move at all, and their heart rate drops to 40 BPM. This is a process, ladies and gentlemen, and I am, yes, standing and coming to the camera. This is a process we call torpor. Torpor. Anyway, I like to stand and come to the camera now sometimes. So torpor, that's the process. It's essentially a hibernation, an overnight hibernation that these hummingbirds exercise within themselves to allow themselves to sleep without needing to expend the energy, without needing to get food for every 15 minutes. But as soon as they wake, they're right back at it. They're right back at it, getting their food. So, what more is there to say about hummingbirds, really? They wake up every day, they go get food every 15 minutes, they go to bed at night, they sleep. Oh, right. Okay, well, how do they mate? Well, they don't mate for life. They mate, but the thing is, okay, so you're like, what then? Well, so if they have to get food every 15 minutes, because again, this is the contingency of their whole life. How do they live getting food every 15 minutes? I know, because if we had to eat every 15 minutes, it'd be like, oh wait, hold on, all right, I'm in the middle of this episode, I gotta eat, hold on. Right, and that was me getting pollen from that flower. But I can't, I don't have to do that, luckily, because I'm human, but for them, they have to. So it's crazy. Anyway, I just want to reiterate how crazy that is. But essentially, yeah, so they relax all the time. But but the thing is, they are totally and completely crazy, the hummingbirds. And to have kids is crazy as a hummingbird. However, they do it because they have to, because it's evolution, because it's natural development of the species. Now, very few hummingbird babies actually make it to adulthood, by the way. It's a very dangerous game. Why? Because they're extremely small. Their nests are basically the size of a ping pong ball. Think about that, a ping pong ball. I mean, a ping pong ball is small. If you have never played ping pong before, I mean, that's okay. A ping pong ball, you probably know what it is. A ping pong ball is small. They have to feed their young and feed themselves, which means they're getting food at an even higher rate than normal. I'm really appreciating all these bird calls happening around me right now, right? Bird of the week. It wouldn't be bird of the week without the birds. So, yeah, they go and get food. They go and feed their babies, and it's very difficult for the babies to survive. They only have a few babies at a time, and very small percentage of their babies actually survive and become adult hummingbirds. And they're very hidden creatures. I mean, we don't see them. However, really interestingly, if you're in Europe watching this, you might be thinking to yourself, what the goddamn is a hummingbird? Because you know what? Hummingbirds only exist in the Americas. Can you believe that? They only exist in the Americas. They only evolved to exist in the Americas. Because, you know, the Americas, we have a very diverse wildlife landscape here from top to bottom. I'm talking North America, I'm talking Central America, I'm talking South America. And beyond that, they don't really exist. They really thrive in South America, actually, because the rainforest, because there are a lot of flowers there for them, because there are a lot of different species of flowers in the Americas. Not to say that there aren't different species of flowers in other places around the world. However, of course, we have a lot of these species in the Americas. And I know I'm walking around like I have to pee. I don't have to pee. I came very prepared. I drank water, but not too much water. I'm recovering from a sickness. I would not sell myself short on water on today of all days, sun beating down on my face. But don't worry about me, worry about the hummingbirds. We're back. So the hummingbirds, yeah, again, super interesting creature because of all this stuff. So those are the fun facts about the hummingbirds. So with all that being said, why did I write this song? You're asking me. I'm not asking myself, right? You're asking me. I'm not asking myself. Why did I write this song? I am asking myself, but you're asking me too, because you're curious, because that's why you tuned in. And the reason I wrote this song, well, it's because, to be honest with you, I had a really tough time writing this song. I wrote it when I was under the influence of a cold, therefore a little bit ill. But here's the thing, I wrote it and I thought to myself, okay, it's very difficult to actually write a song for hummingbird. They're always on the move, they're always getting food every 15 minutes, but really they're relaxing most of the time. They're 80% of the time perched, relaxed, trying to chill out, not expend so much energy. So I thought, at the beginning and the end of the song, while the hummingbird is like flying around, I thought I'd kind of add some of that, you know, speed, fast heart rate, fast tempo stuff. But honestly, for most of the song, I wanted to exemplify, which I used to say a lot, the beauty of these hummingbirds, and really just like how beautiful they are and how they move, how they relax very frequently, and how honestly they just love a good time, a bath, to chill out. And it's so cute how they love the water. And honestly, I just like found this video and I thought, man, it is so cute how they love the water like that. And like, I just wanted to be able to show you how it's so cute that they love the water like that. And they love to run around in it, bathe themselves in it, relax in it, and then go off and find food. And I think it's a really beautiful thing. And I think it's kind of like hummingbirds kind of live the lives that we do, but at just like a way faster rate. They basically live a lifetime in 3 to 5 years, but what they do in that lifetime is so busy. I mean, think about getting food every 15 minutes for 3 to 5 years. I mean, that is crazy, you know what I mean? And we live those lives. And so here's the thing, these hummingbirds, why do these hummingbirds represent Asanabenche's values? Well, partially, I want to talk about how they relax and how they fly omnidirectionally, and how they're constantly adapting to their environment. So, here's the thing. First of all, the omnidirectionally thing, I think, as humans, we have really a privilege that we can move omnidirectionally. Now, we have to abide by the bounds of financial capabilities, of, the things that society kind of boxes us into. But I do want to say, we all have the capability to pivot in our lives. And I think it's very easy to get stuck in a rhythm that maybe is not the rhythm that you want to embrace for your whole life. And you get stuck in something that you want to change. You get stuck in a lifestyle, you get stuck in a state of being at a job, maybe at a job, maybe in a relationship, maybe in a situation, maybe you get stuck. There's many ways to be stuck in life, or in your mind. You can get stuck in a cycle of being sad. You can get stuck in a cycle of being hard on yourself. You can get stuck in many cycles. And I think most birds can only fly one way, and the hummingbird omnidirectionally, being able to fly omnidirectionally, in some ways I think can teach us that we as humans can move omnidirectionally. They also have short lifespans, and we have very long lifespans. We have the ability, in the many years that we live, assuming we are all fortunate enough to live many years, we have the ability to pivot and change and do different things with our lives. And although you feel stuck in one thing now, does not mean you cannot change that thing later and do something differently. Second of all, hummingbirds take a lot of time to relax. They work every 15 minutes essentially because their work is getting food. But here's the thing, we need to take more time to enjoy our surroundings and to relax and to sit down for a second and say, man, life's beautiful. Right? I mean, look, the sun is shining, there's trees, there's nature, there's beauty in the world, man. There's so much beauty in the world that we are so ignorant to, man. And the thing is, it's like we don't even enjoy nature, enough, and the nature around us. I mean, the word nature in and of itself is a word that is used to separate us from the nature. And it's hard to enjoy it. I mean, there's a goddamn leaf blower. I mean, there's always noises, right? It's like we have so separated ourselves from nature. Let's enjoy nature. Bring it back, enjoy it, and be part of it again. And just like these hummingbirds are, and just like all these birds are, really, I think that's a universal kind of lesson that I haven't even been talking about all the time. Let's enjoy it. Let's be part of nature. We're meant to be part of nature. Our human nature is nature. It's all nature, and so we got to be a part of it, and we got to acknowledge that. So, with all that being said, this has been an intense bird of the week, but the hummingbird is a beautiful bird. Change the things that you want to change in your life. Make a change. Take a risk. Do something you love. That's the message of today. And with all that being said, thank you very much for watching. Have a beautiful day. And before I go, I do want to say, we are going on tour. Asanabenche is going on tour. We're coming to the East Coast. Many cities we are going to. I'm editing this and putting this out before the most recent tour meeting with our tour manager, so I am not 100% sure all the cities in this very moment. However, here's the thing, we're coming to your city, probably, on the East Coast, probably. So, we have a GoFundMe, and we have a Patreon, which which I'm going to link in the description. On that Patreon, you're going to be able to see the behind the scenes of this episode of Bird of the Week, as well as the behind the scenes of all future Bird of the Week episodes. I'm going to get very candid. I'm going to get very real with you. I'm trying to get more candid and more real with you on the actual episodes of Bird of the Week too, because I'm a human. I'm Jacob. I really enjoy birds. I really enjoy nature. I really enjoy talking about this stuff, researching this stuff. I hate editing this stuff. So if you're an editor, edit this stuff for me, or not. But the thing is, look, I love people. I love birds. I love being social. I love doing things. I love doing this. So the thing is, I love music more than anything. I love performing more than anything. We love performing more than anything. And as Asanabenche, and we are gonna go on tour, and we just need your help. We need some money to fund it. We're gonna travel there. We're gonna have to fly out to the East Coast. We're gonna have to rent a car. We're gonna have to inevitably deal with stuff not working. We're gonna inevitably have to get food for ourselves on the road, and we just need your help. Our goal is $10,000 to raise by October when the tour begins. And the thing is, we're very, very grateful for any opportunities that we get, and this tour is a really huge opportunity. And so we're very, very grateful for it, and we're very grateful for any contribution that you could possibly make to the tour. So again, in the link, I'm going to add our GoFundMe. If you like our content, but you don't really care for much content in your life, and really mainly you're checking out our YouTube, and you don't really want to go further than that, then feel free to donate to our GoFundMe. If you really like the content, if you want to dive deeper, if you want to get to know us better, and you want to have a say in some of the content we do, and you want to, be able to be more involved in the bird music community, the Asanabenche community, please subscribe to our Patreon. We have different tiers, different levels of ways you can be involved, ways you can help us out to fund for the tour, and generally just help us out. This is our dream to do this band full time. It's our dream. The fact that we're able to do it right now is a dream. But here's the thing: we have a lot of people who support us in our lives, but we need help. We need help. We need financial help to really be able to do this. And so here's the thing: subscribe, donate, however you want to show your love and support to us. Thank you so much. So thank you. The descriptions are below. In the meantime, thank you for watching Bird of the Week. More episodes will be coming. But here's the thing, we got 5 shows in May. It is gonna be busy. So Bird of the Week, we'll see how it goes. But thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. And this week, happy hummingbirding.